Hello, everyone. Welcome to Y.E.A.S.T, your energetic, authentic self today. I am Hope.
This is Joy.
This is Sheila.
Hello, Joy. How are you doing? What are you up to?
Well, I am doing mostly great. I'm in the process of orthodontics procedure. So I would say doing great, but currently suffer some of the discomfort, which is new.
Let me guess. You are 14 years old, so you're doing a teeth? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's the case, right? I grew up in China back then. We did not have, the environment that I could really take good care of my teeth. And that says, as an adult, for many years that passed, I always have a different thing. But I just have been focusing, okay, fix what's being wrong. But now it's come to the point, my friends who is also my dentist, like, Joy, you need to make a decision. We can keep just fixing things, but at a certain point, you will have a bigger things and you won't be able to fix anymore. But you could do something different, do a longer procedure, make a long-term benefit, then your overall situation will improve. I got to say, put the money aside, just thinking about it, 2 years. Gosh, that's a long time. I debate really badly. But eventually,
yeah,
I
2
know.
years is a long time.
2 years of the process if I start now, right? But I think eventually I'm asking myself, if I don't do it, what the future will look like. I might end up with no teeth in 20 years. That's not the life I wanted to live.
No, you have 16 more years to go at a minimum.
16 more years, definitely. That worth 2 years of the process. That's exactly, I went through a lot of thoughts like, it came to me clearly, this might show up as a different form of self-care, right? Three of us often talk about the things we're doing to take care of ourselves. And a very common thing is, do something nice to ourselves that we are going to experience comfort, pleasure right away. That's awesome. But that's one of the form. And now I think I'm experiencing a different kind of self-care that do something for the long-term benefit. But if you focus on what I'm going through now, the discomfort and the beginning of the pain, uncertainty of the outcome, and that's a different way. It's even new for me to think about self-care.
So a couple of things, Joy, I'd like to point out. When you talk about 2 years being a long time, I would just like to point out that the three of us have known each other for almost 2 years, and it seems like just yesterday.
Just
so
like
that
flash.
2 years can fly by rather quickly.
Wow.
Consider that.
Well,
right?
Thank you for reminding me. Unbelievable.
It is. The second thing, you mentioned some of the pain that you're going through. With that comes to mind, the foundation principle that we learned through Y.E.A.S.T, that pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, right? So you have choice. You have a choice, and you're making that choice, right? That for years you've made some tweaks, some adjustments, if you will, but long term, you're willing to go through the pain and perhaps choose to suffer through it to have the long term benefit of that. So kudos to you for that. But once again, 2 years isn't as long as you may It's a blip in time.
Love it. Pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. So Joy, you have a choice.
And, that's, I would say that's so resonating with me. I would say I actually talked to my family a few times. Like some of the moments in the beginning, it feels like I just want to, I'm angry inside. But when I look around, I know I have a choice. I never actually went angry to anyone without a reason. And I figured, this is for the long-term benefit. I'm going to be beautiful and functional in 2 years, so I can deal with it. I think that consciousness and the freedom of the choice absolutely helped me a big deal in the first week. So now it's a much better place.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear what you're going through and that you're not really suffering that much. But this actually reminded me of something that you did self-care, but to Sheila and I, we can't really see much from the surface.
Other than your beauty, because you did say that in a couple of years you'll be beautiful. And frankly, my first thought is you're already there. It's just
Right. I don't know.
Yourself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2 years after what's going to what joy is going to look like.
Yeah. And plus, they say
a mega star.
You still remember my tooth whitening? Like a lot of people never notice. Like, I think your teeth are awesome. Like, really? I never felt comfortable smile big until I really went through the tooth whitening process. And a lot of people like, I thought you helping like that for many years.
Because we look at the mirror every single day, multiple times, and we are looking at the shortcomings, the things that we don't like. We don't normally say, oh, look how healthy I am, how beautiful I am, how happy I am, but we're looking for the imperfection.
We can be our own worst critics, right? It's the lenses through which we see ourselves. And perhaps those lenses are shaded by, tinted, if you will, by statements others have said about us over time that become, frankly, part of our belief system, part of how we see ourselves.
Absolutely. And we talked about that last episode, right? The limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Some of the beliefs that just other people give to us. And I think the other one is society. And I also talked about that last time. And for example, in the market, grocery store department, they have this magnifying beauty mirrors 5 times or 10 times. I actually bought one. And I bought it at home. I look at myself. I'm like, wow. No. I don't want to use it because all I see is imperfection. So I have one, but I never use it.
Well, you can find a better use of it, right? If you want to floss and you figure, okay, there's one more piece, where is it? Then you can use that.
Great idea.
You can magnify what's stuck in your teeth.
All right. I think today is all about the teeth.
Hey, we got to take care of them. Going back to that self-care aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So Sheila, what are you doing for some higher level of self-care?
So for me, it's really working out, exercising, but also it sounds like my dogs want to get in.
I know puppies are doing some self-care too.
Yeah, they're playing with each other, which is important to them. It goes back to what you said about, for me, it's being grateful, the gratitude for who I am, where I am, what I have, and really for how I look, going back to, for Joy and how she's seen herself, how I see myself based on what folks may have said about me over time. Now, for the record, it doesn't mean like I won't change anything, but it's just waking up, feeling grateful, just being alive, and looking to have that gratitude on an ongoing basis. Yeah, I might think, oh, I wish my nose was this way. I wish my teeth were whiter, that kind of thing. But ultimately going nonsense, because there are so many people who are not in the position, whether it's by choice or by force, to really be grateful, have the gratitude, have good health, great family, friends, all of that. So that's what I'm doing from a self-care standpoint. Just working out, but also being grateful for who I am and where I am in this moment.
That is so
Lovely.
awesome. I think being grateful is one of the best ways to keep being happy, right? Because there are so many things. If we look around, there are so many things we can be sad about, upset about. Like even the weather, if it's cloudy, we may feel upset, but
Yeah.
there's something that we can control. We can't.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Hope. We all know the self-care, and I also think it's important to do the self-care, particularly for, at least for myself. I think as a Christian, we also, I always, asking myself that if I don't have my own cup overflowed with peace and joy, I will not be able to, offer any of that to others. Therefore, I started putting a lot of effort. I like travel, so I make sure I have vacation traveling around and go out the regular work and family. So, right, I just came back from the Colorado. That was a good experience that made me feel relaxed and happy, a lot of renewed energy. Um, so it's important. But I also know, I also remember, Hope, you talk about that a lot. What's in your mind?
What's in my mind? For me, self-care in the past has been something that I always struggle with because I growing up with a personality of always caring about other people. And also could be because of the culture that I grew up, girls need to take care of other people, need to be nice to other people. So if I ever leave some time for myself, I feel guilty about it. I feel that I didn't do anything meaningful to other people. Like I may left my kids and not attended. I may be able to clean up the house or doing something. But gradually, like you said, Joy, I realized that if I'm not being taken care of, if I'm not happy, I can't pretend I'm happy. I can't go help other people, take care of other people when I am not feeling well internally. And a lot of those are actually happening in my head, and nobody really knows. Even when I do my self care, I think, like you mentioned, once we have a full cup of tea, then we can pour to other people. So I think that's super important. Right now, I don't feel guilty anymore to do any self care. Just like you, last week I was also traveling. I left my child behind, had my mom come over. That had never happened before. Like when the kids were young, I never left them to any babysitter. I felt guilty to do that. But
Well,
now,
Good for you. Good for
yeah.
you both, realistically. As you're talking, I was kind of thinking about, I was having a conversation with one of my siblings recently, and we were talking through just how he's feeling and in his relationship and everything, not to give anything away. But it was a matter of me telling him that he has to take care of himself because he's looking to put others, as a priority. And what I told him is, I said, if you lose sight of yourself, then who's left?
Yeah.
right? It's don't feel exactly to what you're both saying. Don't feel guilty about setting aside some time to focus on yourself, do the things you want to do, because ultimately, to your point, Hope, it's that energy that you bring. Because if you're not feeling good, not taking the time to, do the proverbial recharge, then that's how you're going to show up, right? And another foundation principle: energy attracts like energy.
Love that.
See what I did there?
Wow,
Um,
Sheila.
and that that's what can happen. If you're drained, how likely is it that that's how you're showing up, and that's the type of people you're going to attract? So, self-care, recharge, whatever label you want to put on it, but ultimately take care of you so that you can show up for others and seemingly support them in whatever manner that you want to.
Yeah. Well said, Sheila. I think Hope you also mentioned a lot of time it's a society for the immediate, for the people that are close to us, right? Over the time, I realized they want me to be happy even more than me wanted to, because I want to be able to do that selflessly for so much time without the support from the family. They all understand it. They all want me to do what I wanted, like a Wednesday, put a mask and play a movie, do it, enjoy, and no one would bother me. They know after that, and they always get a happy, energetic, and whatever the word that come to your mind, like the mom or the wife they wanted. So if I think that there might be women, out there listening, like, good for you, you can do that. What about me? Well, have a conversation. You might be surprised how supportive your family members are. Your partner, your significant others, or husband or kids. I know I got support from mine, and they all love me taking time to take care of myself. Then, when I do spend time and getting back to them, and they love who I am.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
But we also need to point it out that Joy, you do have a loving family that a lot of people are jealous about. So maybe that's the first thing other people, if they are not having a loving family, they should
Yeah.
think about what are some other ways to
Yeah.
have a loving family to improve that relationship.
Yeah. That is a good call out. I would say I wasn't always that loving either. In the past, when I wasn't taking care of myself, and I would do things, but with bitter, with sore, and I would complain. Even when I do things, they would just run away. Right?
Oh,
Thinking about the outcome if you're not doing self-care, regardless the situation you're in.
okay, got it. So I got to know you after you changed. All right. Any final word before we adjourn? Joy,
Oh,
Sheila?
no. Go ahead, Sheila.
I go back to, once again, take care of yourself, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to really support anyone else.
Yeah. And I would offer, it's a limiting belief that if you think self-care is selfish, it's the other way. Self-care is selfless. That's what Hope has shared with me today, and I would offer that to our audience.
Love it. Self-care is selfless. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you. This is East, your energetics, authentic self today. See you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you.